Round 2 Wrestling is back. Thank you for tuning into this brand new podcast here on the 10th of May, 2023. I am your host, SlimmDa KID, and for those of you tuning into Round 2 Wrestling for the very first time, you are in for a treat. This is very similar to a news broadcast. We have it broken down into 4 simple, easy-to-digest segments. We talk about the pro wrestling rumor mill and the what-ifs and maybes going on in the world. We have pro wrestling news, something a bit more actual factual. We have title matches and those exclusive results here brought to you on Round 2 Wrestling. We will conclude this brand new Round 2 Wrestling podcast with Did You Know Pro Wrestling facts about some of the biggest promotions in the world. We are kicking off Round 2 Wrestling by taking a listen to the what ifs and maybes that are traveling around the world. This is the Pro Wrestling Rumor Mill. All right. Per PW Insider, WWE's Robert Roode was in Birmingham, Alabama recently to get looked at how he's coming along following neck surgery last year. It is also rumored that things are not going very well for Robert Roode and that another surgery or more time off is needed to heal this particular injury. Tony Khan updated the pre-sale numbers for the All-In pay-per-view, tweeting that AEW has now sold more than 43,000 tickets, generating over $5.7 million in revenue. Tony Khan shot down ESPN reporter Mike Coppinger's claim that Wembley would only be configured to seat 40,000 fans. The AEW owner replied, "Lies. What a load of crap. Tell your agent Nick Khan to shove it up his ass." Speaking of Nick Khan, he said on an investor call that WWE will be opening up more sections of Detroit's Ford Field to meet demand for SummerSlam tickets. SummerSlam tickets here in Detroit have sold like hotcakes, so this is not all that surprising for us here in the Mitten State. Wrestling Observer Radio's Brian Alvarez said the controversial Britt Baker Black Eye t-shirt was AEW's top-selling shirt this past weekend. For those of you who haven't seen this particular t-shirt, it's nothing more than a picture of Britt Baker with a black eye that she sustained at a previous AEW event. Personally, SlimmDa KID sees no problem in this. However, I could see how this could be related to some domestic abuse advocate groups and bringing awareness to that. So it kind of has a gray area, but anything does in this country. Tama Tonga has not been under contract with New Japan Pro Wrestling for a while, even though he is still wrestling for the promotion. WWE was interested in signing him at one point, but he might be a victim of the current WWE hiring freeze. Matt Cardona is done at Impact Wrestling right now, per Fightful Select. He has been working on a handshake deal for the past 2 years and hoped to continue doing so, but the company, Impact, wanted to put pen to paper and make things a little bit more real. Wrestling Observer Live's Brian Alvarez said he, quote, heard rumors, end quote, that AEW has sold 65,000 tickets thus far for the All-In pay-per-view at London's Wembley Stadium on August 27th. This is a huge jump in the number that owner Tony Khan announced earlier in the week. On Wrestling Observer Radio, Dave Meltzer said that Nashville is getting WrestleMania in 2027 with the opening of the new NFL football stadium. WWE has had discussions with reps in Australia about holding a premium live event there, according to Fightful Select. Plenty to mull over and think about, and you determine what is going to be real and what is simply nothing more than a rumor. Enough of the what-ifs and maybes in pro wrestling. We are going to move over to something a bit more real and a bit more shocking here in pro wrestling news. Actor and celebrity Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson is facing a major $3 billion lawsuit alleging kidnapping. The popular star got his start in the WWF, now WWE, under the name The Rock, as a third-generation wrestler and son of the great Rocky Johnson. Former TNA and WWE wrestler Tanisha Biggers, who went by the ring name Raka Khan, recently filed the court documents necessary to move forward with a $3 billion lawsuit that names Dwayne Johnson as one of the defendants in an alleged kidnapping scheme. Biggers claims that Johnson and his business partner Danny Garcia made plans to abduct her and her children in 2008. Some other defendants named in the lawsuit are the state of Texas, the El Paso Child Protective Services, the Las Cruces, New Mexico Police Department, the NYPD, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children, New York ACS, Omega Psi Phi Fraternity Incorporated, Shirley Police Department, Sigma Phi Epsilon, the Suffolk County, New York, and Bank of America, Home Depot, and even the FBI. This is a whirlwind of information, and who knows what will come of this particular lawsuit. It has already been alleged that Disney has dropped Dwayne Johnson from the upcoming Pirates of the Caribbean movie and has once again moved on to Johnny Depp. Whether or not this lawsuit holds any sustenance has yet to be seen. WWE Hall of Famer Ricky Steamboat says he turned down an offer from AEW. The Dragon noted during a recent virtual signing for Captain's Corner that AEW wanted him to come and work as a road agent or producer, but he wasn't interested in traveling for work again. Impact Wrestling has announced their first ever major events and shows in Australia for this summer. The 4-day, 2-show Impact Down Under tour will take place in Wagga Wagga, New South Wales, beginning on Thursday, June 29th. The tour includes 2 marquee wrestling shows, Impact Winter and Impact Down Under, held on Friday, June 20th and Saturday, July 1st at the Equex Center. Impact noted in their press release that this tour will replace New Japan Pro Wrestling in Australia as their events were nixed due to scheduling and talent availability issues. The New Japan Pro Wrestling Oceania Cup, which was announced back in December, has been postponed. This is big news for Impact Wrestling, so you fans pay attention and be sure to tune in to that exclusive event this summer in Australia. AEW/Ring of Honor wrestler Eddie Kingston reveals he is set to undergo surgery to repair a hernia injury he's been suffering from since September of 2022. Kingston noted that he hopes to be back in action in 6 weeks, which could put him back in the ring in late June or early July. MLW heavyweight champion Alexander Hammerstone is cleared to return to the ring. The Hammer sustained a minor groin injury during the War Chamber matchup last month and has been out of action ever since. A report had surfaced stating that the fear was the champ completely tore his groin in the match, but it ended up not being as bad as originally thought. Hammerstone has held the MLW heavyweight champion for over 2 years after dethroning Jacob Fatu back in 2021. NWA wrestler Black G's, real name Darnell Kittrell, recently got diagnosed with a blood cancer known as multiple myeloma. Multiple myeloma usually can't be cured, which means additional treatment is needed when the cancer comes back. Please visit GoFundMe.com and donate, if possible, to this charitable cause. WWE star and original bro Matt Riddle, the subject of a leaked video on Twitter this week. In the video, which features Matt Riddle, he is shown pulling out his member and spinning it like a helicopter a la Ric Flair. This made Riddle trend worldwide during WWE Raw this past Monday. It remains to be seen what, if anything, WWE will do regarding this sexual misconduct by one of its wrestlers. Big news coming out of WWE and associated with WWE this past week. We here at Round 2 Wrestling will be sure to bring you any and all updates regarding that particular bit of news. Moving on from pro wrestling news, we have title matches here to discuss on Round 2 Wrestling and those exclusive results for you, the fan. AEW TBS champion Jade Cargill defeated Gia Scott to retain the AEW TBS championship. WWE Raw Women's Champion Bianca Belair defeated Io Sky to retain the WWE Raw Women's Championship. WWE United States Champion Austin Theory defeated Bobby Lashley and Bronson Reed in a triple threat match to retain the WWE US Championship. WWE SmackDown Women's Champion Rhea Ripley defeated Zelina Vega to retain the WWE SmackDown Women's Championship. Ring of Honor World Champion Samoa Joe defeated Blake Christian to retain the Ring of Honor World TV title. Ring of Honor Women's Champion Athena defeated Sky Blue to retain the Ring of Honor Women's Championship. NWA World Television Champion Thom Latimer went to a time limit draw against EC3. WWE NXT Tag Team Champions Gallus defeated the Dyad to retain the WWE NXT Tag Team titles. A warning for those of you listening to Round 2 Wrestling, and I should have said this at the beginning of the title matches segment. This particular segment may contain spoilers for your favorite promotion, and we will continue to release this warning ahead of our title matches results segment here on Round 2 Wrestling for the foreseeable future. We are at the end of Round 2 Wrestling, and we are going to conclude this particular podcast with a fan and producer favorite, Did You Know Pro Wrestling Facts? Did you know are little bits of information and facts about the wrestling world that you may or may not have known about. You gotta love that bell. Did you know CM Punk and Bryan Danielson both had stints running the Ring of Honor Wrestling School? Did you know for years the Ring of Honor World Champion was not allowed to lose the title to other independent promotions? Did you know Ring of Honor's original owner Rob Feinstein was caught on a To Catch a Predator style TV news bust? Did you know in 2009, Ring of Honor sued Hall of Famer Ric Flair for no-showing several prepaid appearances, winning the lawsuit and $41,420 paid to Ric Flair? Did you know the concept of TNA originated shortly after WCW folded in 2001, with the WWF gaining a monopoly on the pro wrestling industry? Did you know in June 2017, the then recently rebranded Impact Wrestling held a show in India, becoming the first major U.S. promotion to hold events in that country? Did you know AAA Mexico has held an international pay-per-view? Co-produced by WCW and held in Los Angeles, California, the landmark When Worlds Collide pay-per-view was reportedly the first time an international promotion held a pay-per-view for U.S. audiences. Did you know in 1933, Salvador Lutteroth decided to start the first Mexican wrestling promotion ever, Empresa Mexicana de Lucha Libre, also known as EMLL, now known as CMLL. Did you know in 1953, Salvador Lutteroth agreed to have EMLL join the NWA. EMLL would remain a part of the NWA for nearly 40 years. And to conclude, did you know GCW started as Jersey Championship Wrestling, or JCW, in 1999 by indie wrestler Ricky O? Once again, I am SlimmDa KID. Thank you for tuning in to Round 2 Wrestling. Be sure to tune in next week